A lockdown match coverage is the best way to shut down those high-powered passing offense and react to anything your opponent throws your way. And in this video, I'm going to show you how you can run the best lockdown coverage in College Football 25, Cover 4 Palms. In this video, we're going to go over why you need to add match coverage to your defensive game plan. I'm going to show you how you can implement it in a full defensive scheme that was one of the most dominant defenses in college football history. And we're going to break down all the rules and assignments you need to know to run palms. Then lastly, we're going to break down real clips of me using palms online so I can show you in-game examples of how good it can be. But first, we got to look at what match coverage actually is. It is a defense that has defenders playing zone, but then they're reading receivers and they will either man players up and lock them down, or they can become free to double team and bracket other players, or play zone looking for work and helping on anyone who comes into their area. And this can lead to confusion and a ton of mistakes on offense. Now, the reason why I think you should use match coverage is match coverage based defenses are swiftly becoming a go-to defensive strategy in both college football and the NFL. They provide an excellent framework for defending against the spread passing attacks that are dominating football at the moment, and in my opinion, implementing and mastering them in College Football 25 is the best way to play defense. Now, the first reason I love to use match is Saban's match coverage system is highly adaptable, allowing the defense to effectively handle a wide range of offensive formations and plays. In College Football 25, this means you can use match coverage to match routes in real time, ensuring that your defense can adjust to the offense even when facing complex offensive schemes. Then one of the strengths of Saban's defense is its ability to disguise coverages, making it difficult for opposing quarterbacks to diagnose pre-snap. In College Football 25, we're almost always going to start in a too high safety look. This can let us disguise the coverage we are in, and now we can run all of our different versions of our match coverages to lock people down on the back end. But then we can also mix in blitzes from these too high looks that will look the same pre-snap, and it's going to make it way harder to block them up. Then Saban's match coverage isn't just about being effective against the pass, it also provides solid run support. In College Football 25, Cover 4 Palms enables your safeties to be involved in run fits without sacrificing coverage integrity. This dual capability makes it an ideal choice for stopping balanced offenses that threaten through both the air and on the ground. Then one of the primary goals of Saban's match coverage is to eliminate big plays, especially deep passes. In College Football 25, Cover 4 Palms allows your defense to stay over the top of vertical routes while still matching underneath patterns, and it is also an aggressive defensive approach specifically crafted to grant us a numerical upper hand in our pass defenses, where we can bracket and take away route combos that you can't in a normal zone coverage look. This minimizes the chance of giving up explosive plays, forcing the offense to execute perfectly underneath to move the ball. Now, this is a part of my match coverage game plan that is all inspired by the GOAT Nick Saban and his legendary run at Alabama, where he has led the Tide to become the greatest dynasty in college football history. Over the last 7 to 8 seasons with Saban at the helm, the Tide evolved into a 4-down lineman-based defense with a nickelback on the field that Saban would refer to as his star position. Then the Tide run an insanely advanced match coverage scheme that he refers to as his Cover 7 group of coverages. This gives him an insane amount of checks and options to answer whatever the offense is trying to do offensively. Now, today we are breaking down Cover 4 Palms, but we do have a ton of other match breakdowns on the way, and I'll let you know when you should be using each one to ensure that you have answers to whatever offenses throw your way. Now, I'm going to leave a link down in the description for my whole Saban defensive scheme for you to check out, and you can watch everything else that is out for this scheme, and it's going to include a ton of blitzes, run defense, and some other really advanced match coverages. Now we are going to be breaking down Palms versus 3x1 sets, and this is my go-to defense whenever I play these offenses. Then we're going to touch on 2x2 sets, but I do prefer quarters against these looks, and I broke that down in the last video, which I will link down in the description below. Now, this is all going to be a part of my Saban Cover 7 family of coverages, and Saban refers to this coverage as stubby. So first, when I say 3x1, I mean 3 receivers on one side of the field and 1 to the other side of the ball. But this will be a breakdown for when the receiver is split out wide, not in line like trips tight end. The trip side with trips tight end will play the exact same, but we do have different rules for the tight end, and I will be going over that at the end of the breakdown. When talking about match coverage, you will hear me say read 1 to 2 to 3 or 2 to 1 or anything along those lines. And what that refers to is 1 will always be the outside receiver on that side of the ball. Then it goes in. So 2 would be the next receiver. And then if there's a trips, he would be 3. So for both of our outside cornerbacks on the solo and trip side, they're going to play what we call Meg. This means man everywhere he goes. So both of our corners are going to X out the players and will follow the receiver all over the field on any route. So this could be straight vertical up the field or a drag across the field. It does not matter. Next, we have our quarter flat on the trip side, and he is going to read 3 to 2. Now, if 3 goes right to the flats, then he will take him. So any out route, flat route, or whip route, he's just going to match him to the flat. Now, if 3 goes vertical up the field, so 5+ yards, or if he goes into the middle of the field, then the quarter flat is going to look to number 2. Now, he will basically just man number 2 up wherever he goes. So anything quick to the flats he will take, or any vertical route up the field could be a seam, corner, or crosser. He is just going to go with him everywhere. Next, we have our trip side safety. Now, he is going to read 3 to 2. So if 3 gets vertical, which means 5+ yards up the field, then he will take him on any route. So it could be a post going to the middle, or a corner cutting out, or a seam going directly upfield. Now, if 3 stays shallow, so it could be a hitch, slant, or out route, then the safety will look to number 2. And if he gets vertical up the field, he will convert to man coverage and take him anywhere he goes. Then if both number 3 and 2 stay shallow, then the safety will look to number 1. And if he runs vertical into the middle of the field on a post, then he will just bracket him with the cornerback, and it will be a double coverage look on this receiver. Next, we have the safety on the solo side. Now, he's going to be very free to help wherever it is needed on this play. So first, he will look at the number 1 receiver on the solo side, and if he runs anything vertical, then he will just bracket number 1 with the cornerback. Then if 1 doesn't go vertical and to the inside, then he will look to the trip side and help pick up any crosser coming to that side of the field. And this is one of my favorite parts of this coverage, is he's just going to help all of these crossers going to the solo side. Then we have a quarter flat on the solo side. Now, he's going to be playing Meg on the running back. So man everywhere he goes, even if it's vertical up the field, or if he runs to the trip side, he will follow him. Then if the running back just stays in the block, he'll just play the flats and help on anything there. Then lastly, we have the 3 receiver hook. Now, first, he's going to look to number 3, and if he gets vertical on a crosser, he's going to wall this player off and take away the quick throw till the safety gets to him. Then he will just play the hook zone over the middle. Now, when we were playing versus a trips tight end defense, the trips side has the same rules as we just went over, but now the solo tight end, we will play a little bit differently. Now here, if the tight end goes vertical, so straight up the field on a streak, then the corner on that side will match him. Or if the tight end runs a corner route or anything to the outside, the cornerback will match him. But if the tight end breaks in, the safety on this side is now going to pick him up. So that could be a shallow drag across the field or a deeper crosser route. Then the safety will just take him across the field. So that is how the tight end will be played. And then the trip side is just going to play normal palms. Now quickly, let's look at palms versus 2x2. But remember, this isn't my preferred way to play. I like to play quarters versus looks, but it's good for you guys to know how palms works versus 2x2 looks. So 2x2 just means 2 receivers on each side of the ball. Now overall, versus 2x2, palms is going to play very similar to quarters. If there's an inline tight end on one side of the 2x2 set, then that side will just play normal quarters. So inline tight end, just normal quarters. It is only going to change on the side where there's an outside receiver and a slot receiver. So here, the cornerback is going to read 2 to 1 now. And now if 2 goes right out to the flat, then the cornerback is going to jump 2 right away and pass 1 off to the safety. And now the safety will just lock him up and take him deep. This can be a great play call to take that quick throw to the flat from the number 2, because the cornerback will jump it and take it right away. Then if the number 2 player goes vertical, then the corner will look to number 1. And if he gets vertical, he'll just match him deep. But if number 2 goes vertical and number 1 stays shallow, then the corner is just going to help the safety take number 2 deep over the top. And that is really the only major difference between palms and quarters versus 2x2. Now, if you want to take this defense to the next level, you need to check out my website, Scheme Kings. Up right now, I have my advanced palms coverage breakdown, and I go over some advanced tips that will take this coverage to a whole new level. And running palms this way makes it, in my opinion, the best coverage in the game. Then there is a ton more on the site for this Bama defense, including other match coverage breakdowns and some great blitzes. And then there's still more coming for this scheme that will only be found on the site. Then also on the site, I'm dropping my spread to run offense, and we have a breakdown up already for the Chip Kelly Oregon spread, and we have our Pat White West Virginia offense, and we still have the Trevor Lawrence Clemson Tiger scheme on the way. I also have started dropping content for Madden 25, and we have 2 videos out for Madden so far. So for the site, you can purchase the yearly membership, which will save you $50 over the course of the year. Then I'm also going to be running my Bama defensive sale on the site. This will run until August 27th. Use Bama 25 at checkout to get 50% off your first month if you do the monthly membership. And if you want to check out the site, I will link it down below. Now for this Saban match defense, we are going to be running it out in nickel 3-3 over in the 3-4 playbook, and that's what we're going to be running our whole Saban defense out of. But all the match rules for quarters are the same in any defensive formation you use. So you can run quarters out of any playbook, any scheme you are running. And then for this Saban defense, this is a full scheme. So I'm going to have a bunch of blitzes coming, run defense, breaking down more match coverages. So if you want a playlist for everything that you will find for this defense, I will link it down in the description below. And I'm going to break down some in-game examples of me using this defense online so you can see how effective it can be. All right, so now we're getting into some in-game examples of me using this online, and I want to break down some key things that I do to make palms even better. And the first thing is I like to user one of the 2 high safeties. The reason we do this is because once we know the rules of cover 4 quarters or cover 4 palms, we know these players' responsibilities, and now we can actually react and do their job. But if their job is to be free, now we are free. And that's what I love about palms if I user the solo side safety. So trips is to the left here, so I'm using the right safety. Now in this defense, the palms solo safety is basically free to help on whoever he sees. So they run crossers across the field. I see a shallow cross coming here, but then I look behind me and I see a deeper cross coming into the middle of the field, and I just turn, run with it, and I pick it off, and we're going the other way. So as using this solo safety, once you realize, okay, most of the time I'm just going to be free looking for help, you can just make so many plays. Here it is again, going to user this solo safety. I'm just looking for work, and I see this post. Now watch this post right here. If I don't help on this could have been a 1-play touchdown, but I see it get open. I come and take it away. He still wants to try to launch it downfield into double coverage, but we get the hit on the QB. And here's one more, playing in the middle of the field. They have trips right here. I'm just kind of playing underneath, baiting this throw up here. So I see this crosser coming in. I want to play shallow. Then I get up and underneath it, and I just bait him into throwing that football, and we're going the other way. So using the safety is my #1 key to making palms play so much better. Now, the other great thing with this match coverage is its ability to take away vertical route concepts on the trip side away. So something like a 4 verticals, flood, sail, any vertical concept like that, we can get double teams and we can just match everyone up. So I'm using the safety on this side, and we look, everybody is covered deep. He's just running 4 verticals, and right here, this is a quarter flat, turns and runs with this streak up the field. So he's just going to run for this guy step for step. He tries to test him over the top. We high point, and we're going the other way with the football. So here, same thing. The quarter flat is going to man this player up, but he's running a corner route to the outside. So look at this, just matched all across the field. Tries to throw this corner route out on the edge on 3rd and 7. We just get our hand in there and get the knockout. Another thing we'll see is on these vertical routes, we'll actually get a lot of double teams down the field as well. So you see this quarter flat and this safety here, just depending on the route combo. So this guy stays shallow. Number 2 gets straight up the field, and the quarter flat and the safety on this side double team him vertically down the field. We get another knockout. Now, another thing I do is I will do some really kind of advanced adjustments and user the trip side safety. Now, this is actually what I break down in Scheme Kings today. So I show you guys all the different adjustments and how to take this, whole defense to the next level using the trip side safety. Now, when you do that, that is going to lead this backside safety soloed up. And this player right here does a great job of robbing crossers sitting on these routes as they come across the field. We see a crosser coming. He just puts his foot in the ground and boom, lays a hit on this guy. That was 4th and 9. And now it's our football right there. Here it is again, same thing. So we're going to be using this safety. This is what I break down in Scheme Kings, but that's going to leave this backside safety solo to pick up crossers as they come across the field. He's just sitting on that. Boom, lays a hit stick, go, get a knockout. And it's the same thing with our user. If we are using this guy, the great thing is the solo side safety is free. We're using across the field. We see this guy coming late, and because we are free, we can pick it up and pick him off. Now, the last tip I have for really running palms, quarters, any match coverage really effectively is you want to have blitzes you can run that look the same as your palms pre-snap. So here we have 2 high safeties before the snap, but actually where we're bringing pressure, because if you're just sitting in match coverage all day, every day, people can start to pick you apart. But if you have blitzes to mix in, so here we have a 4-man user rush. Look at everybody in zone coverage behind it, only rushing 4, and I'm able to get to the QB. Here we have a 0-man blitz starting in 2 high out of the same formation as our palms. Now, instead of them just being able to sit back and pick us apart if we play too much match, I like to blitz probably 25 to 30% of the game when I'm using a really match coverage heavy scheme. Here we have a 0 blitz. They block their running back, and we're still going to get multiple loopers in free. So up on Scheme Kings right now, we do have multiple blitzes that you can check out to pair with your match coverage. Now, this defense will be amazing once it is all out, but don't forget, I have my advanced palms coverage tips and breakdown live on Scheme Kings right now, and I have more videos on the site so you can add a ton more elements to this Saban defense. But then if you want a full breakdown of the idea behind my Saban scheme and a deep dive into the personnel we will be using for this defense, then you need to check out the intro video for the Saban scheme right here.